Hello, welcome in. My gosh, it's a Honolulu Blue. What is today? Tuesday? Wednesday? Oh my God. The Eric Zane Show podcast from the Impact Power Sports Studio. Thank you so much for being here. We had a code brown this morning in a big way. Code brown, code yellow. O'Neill is our snow dog. And my God, does he love to romp through the snow. And he's never experienced snow like this. I'm not kidding you. In the 20 years that we've lived here, we've never had, we've had big snows. You get like a foot here and there, but we've never had consistent snow where you get like a buffalo amount of snow, which is like several feet. And where I live right now with the lake effect snow, which is hit or miss, you can be getting a foot of snow in one spot and 3 miles away it's sunny. I'm not even kidding. It's ridiculous. We've gotten north of 3 feet of snow since last week. So O'Neill is just romping through it. He gets out in the yard. He's bounding. The snow's flying. You know, you want to shoot that in slow motion. That's, my God. Tyler points out Michigan is making up for the slow start to winter. Yeah, we got it all back. You know, we were like, everyone's like, oh, man. Yeah, this is great. No snow this year. And then Mother Nature said, yeah, I've been on vacation. Here you go. Take all of this in a weekend. Holy cow. The problem with O'Neill is he starts having so much fun romping and hunting for frozen turds, because that's what he'll do. He'll be romping around, and then he'll catch a whiff of a nugget, and then he'll take his face and just stick it right in the snow. And then, you know, O'Neill, and then he pulls his face out. His face is all white. There's a joke there somewhere. I'm too tired to even try it. You get him to come in, you know, like, oh, O'Neill. So he's like forgets to go to the bathroom. Well, because that's what dogs do. You know, they get preoccupied or whatever. They get distracted. And that must have happened last night because the poor guy, you see him right now. He's got a little bit of a embarrassed look on his face. He was polite enough to empty his bladder on the ceramic, those squares, those 1 foot, 12 by 12 ceramic squares in that sunroom where the NFK hangs out. That's the TV zone. That's his room. And as I've described before, the urine then settles in the grout. It looks like yellow Venice. And then he had to go poo-poo. And he wandered over to the carpeted area and did that. Thank God it was solid. I wake up. I have no idea this is going on. Or this has happened. Taking care of my typical morning. And here comes the NFK. Hey, that's poo-poo and pee-pee. Oh, boy. I get to work. It's too much. I'm running out of time quickly. I had to call for backup. I know you've heard this story before, but that's what happens with O'Neill. So I said to Diane, I go, look, yeah, if you let him out, you got to leave him out because he has so much fun in the frickin' snow that, you know, he just forgets to go. You got to make sure he goes. Like, don't let him out and then, like, coax him to come back in. Because he won't go. And he has a look on his face like he's so bummed out, you know. He was just like, his ears are down. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, buddy, it's okay. You're a dog. That's what dogs do. You know, you don't have the luxury of just going anywhere like in the toilet. You have to go outside and your hands You don't have hands. You've got paws. You can't open the door. You can't come and go as you please. You did the best you could. All right? I remember when I was growing up, this is old school. My dad, if like the dog took a dump in the house, Queenie, we had this dog, Queenie, he used to actually take her nose and like shove her nose in the shit. And so I'm like, oh, I guess that's what you do. You got to shove the dog's nose in shit. My God. What a disaster. What a fucking idiot. My dad. I spoke with him yesterday. He was fine with me, but I keep getting word back from family members that things might be a little bit wonky upstairs at a quicker pace in his old noggin there. But just so you know, we have Dear Meathead coming up in just a little while, 51 minutes. We will do it again. I've got 3 or 4 questions, but I always need more. If you have something going on in your life or your world that it's kind of like, boy, I maybe I should run this up Meathead's flagpole. Run this up EZ's dad's flagpole. See what he has to say. By all means, send it along. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. He would love to hear from you. This is something that he really, really looks forward to as his wits sometimes leave him, as what happens with dementia. This is the one thing he is absolutely sure that is happening. In fact, when I was talking to him yesterday, I'm just, having a conversation, talking about whatever. He goes, so, are we doing the show tomorrow? And I'm like, yes, we are, Dad. So, sharp as a tack when it comes to that. And that is a high point of his day. So, send along a question for Dad. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. We are planning his 90th birthday, which his birthday is a big day. 3 enormous things happen on March 17. I've already given you 1, my dad's birthday. 2, St. Patrick's Day. And then 3, that is also Flying Laptop Day. The world famous Flying Laptop Day, when Hurricane Ashley, which I don't even think the actual laptop flew out the window that day. When she was body slammed, I think the phone made it out the window, but the laptop did not make it out the window. Thus, we have Flying Laptop Day in order to, like, almost in a hopeful way or to honor what could have been, Sarah says we need to do a birthday card shower, fill his mailbox with cards. That's a great idea. Let's do that. March 17th, Meathead's birthday. So we all get together. That would be 90. And we're going to pile into Charity Scam Mike's house. And we eat corned beef from Wegley's. And we're going to have a freaking live podcast with Dad, or a live stream. And he absolutely would love that, by the way. Sarah, you have hit the nail on the head with the filling his mailbox with cards. Those two would just love it. Okay, another important day to remember, the 17th of March. Chris in Buffalo. That's also his birthday, too. Oh, my God. So much happening. This is fantastic. All right. Snow day today. Should have been a snow day yesterday for Pooh Bear. Everybody's school was closed except for Pooh Bear's. Today, though, they canceled it. We got another half foot of snow in the overnight. And so they called it. So that is where Darla is right now. If Diana is home, that means Darla does not want to be here. No way. So I got the gruesome twosome here, and they are snuggled up just adorably. O'Neill and Bruce. You need to be reminded that Thursday is a big fraud Thursday. And, oh boy, Big Fraud Thursday, Hot Wings edition. We are focusing on the wings, at least for a portion of the show. The wings was given the football. They said, all right, let's try this again. And they handed the ball off to the wings to tell a story. And I think he lost yardage. It was the story about how he backed into his garage and went too far and hit the wall and damaged the wall. And boy, were we heavy on the details. So we have got to break that down. It is laced with laugh talking like you wouldn't believe. Again, super heavy on the minutia. Freebeer does this too. He does it whenever there's a sports story. I might have to get into this one too. The former guy who ran the Chicago Bulls to all their championships, Jerry Krause. He's dead now. They just had a big ceremony to honor him during the Bulls game. And the crowd, when they announced his name, started to boo. And the wife of Jerry Krause is on the court, and she starts crying. It was horrible. Oh, my God, it was so bad. They're, oh, yeah, fuck that guy. Because not only did he build the team and help take them to new heights, but he also dismantled the team. And so the fans don't like that, so they booed the guy. There you go. You've got the story. Greg starts it with, like, his first draft pick and all this incredible basketball minutia. I seriously think that why he does that is to kind of, like, show off, which is something that you would not want to show off. Like, who gives a fuck, you know? And he just went in depth about so much of the backstory on this goddamn basketball executive that no one in the audience has ever heard of. I mean, I'm sure. Okay, they've heard of him, but who gives a fuck? I mean, the guy gets so wound up in his sports info. It's like, brother, you're killing him. If you're going to talk sports, you better make it the abridged version. You better go Cliff Notes on that shit. If you don't go Cliff Notes, it's just a goddamn drag. Well, anyway, both of these numbskulls do not. They take the deep dive. Free beer on Jerry Krause. Hot wings on all the backstory about why he backed into the garage. We'll feature that on a Big Fraud Thursday. That will start about 6:15. Which reminds me, there was a fun comment that was made on the Eric Zane Show subreddit. So that's what you would look up on Reddit, the Eric Zane Show. We dropped one. We are at a unhealthy 471 members on the subreddit. Reddit.com/r/the Eric Zane Show. JRE Fan 1991 writes, who are these free beers? Episode 11. Ben Glaze brought in lowlights of free beer, asking the rest of the show questions like, how often do you make your bed? And how many times a week do you brush your teeth? He or she continues. The new high standard content that we've grown to love from the FBHW show. While listening to these clips, I was so thankful that I stopped listening and wasting my time with that show. Then I shook my head in disbelief when Ben revealed that whole conversation occurred in front of a live audience. The balls and pure laziness that Freebeer has to bring this in front of fans shocked me. The fact that there's more effort put into who are these free beers, and there is, than the Free Beer and Hot Wings show has me wondering who could possibly be showing up to a Free Beer and Hot Wings live show. Keep up the good work, Ben and Eric. I can't wait for the next Big Fraud Thursday. Now, there are a lot of people that listen to me and listen to them, and they don't like it when I pick on them. Look, at some point, you're going to have to get it through your head that they suck dick and they have no respect for you because of the small amount of effort that they put into doing a goddamn show. It's a pile of shit. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker you can break free and actually start enjoying a good show like mine. One that actually sees effort put into it in hopes that you will listen to it. Okay? So get your head out of your ass, let go of that shit, and focus on me, which is what you should have done in the first place. Okay? Patrick writes, it was a great show. Ben and Eric killed. I agree. Topics like washing hair and brushing teeth are complete piles of shit content, especially in front of a live audience. It was their infamous how to load the dishwasher segment that made me turn off their show for good and start listening to Zane again. I was shocked to hear that they are still producing such lazy, audience-insulting topics. It was funny how silent the audience was during that. Cannot wait for the new episode of Who Are These Freebeers Thursday. I love how Ben and Eric can turn such garbage into something entertaining. We are blessed that they keep making that shit. In a perfect world, their audience will drop off because they're realizing this is fucking ridiculous. They will come to our show. They will keep doing their shit show. And we will be able to keep doing Who Are These Freebeers? Concerning Hot Wings damage done to his garage and the minutia train, Cole writes, was the wall insulated? What color was the paint? What lumens did the light in the garage have? I'm sure all will be answered. Adam writes, I had the show on for a moment this morning. Good. I want you to keep listening because if you hear something ridiculous, you got to tell me. They refer to Schitt's Creek as S Creek. Just say the name of the show. Let's see. Corey says Greg still poop only once a month. He went on a rant about that once. Speaking of holding on to shit, someone asks, where's Kenny? What are you doing? He'll be here. Come on now. Well, anyway, that goes on Thursday. Looking forward to another edition of Who Are These Free Beers and the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. That's right. Kenny may have had a code brown today already. Boy, what a way to start that day. Jesus, that way, I should say. All right. Where was it going to go? Escapes me. It's gone. It's gone. All right. So plenty to get to today. Dear Meathead comes up in now 38 minutes. Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. If you want to reach out, if you have a question for Dad. Kenny informs us that he was actually taking a dump. That's great. Thanks for the info. All right. I want to share with you something. There's a lot going on today that just happens to be football related. I'll try to break it up, but no kidding. Like nearly every story is football related. So I'll try to keep it entertaining for those of you, because there are some of you who are like, oh, okay, if it's football related, I don't like it. It's like, well, look, like Amanda pointed out yesterday, it's one thing to sit there and break down sports, which I don't do. Okay? My commentary about things I observe, though, that are sports related, you don't have to follow sports to follow along with the content, you know? See what I'm saying? Well, anyway. So the Lions host Tampa on Sunday at 3 p.m. I am going into this, again, with the same attitude of hope for the best, but expect the worst. The quarterback for Tampa his name is Baker Mayfield. All right. So this guy comes into the NFL. He has like one good year in Cleveland, and then he got sick of the fact that he's in Cleveland, and then that dried up quickly. I think he might have went to another team too, perhaps Carolina. But now here he is in Tampa. He's been in the league for a pretty fair amount of time, and he became pretty damn good this year. They called it a resurgence, a career resurgence. So that's a little frightening. And he started out the year kind of shitty and finished it really strong. That's not great. The Tampa defense is ridiculous. They're really, really great. First of all, we got to look at this. This is a clip after the Eagles fucked up against Tampa. Tampa beat them in Tampa. Now, the thing about the Eagles is they started out the year 10-1, and then they had a total collapse. They're out of the playoffs. Hang on. Piece of oatmeal. They're out of the playoffs. A lot of Eagles fans go to Tampa to watch the game, but I've talked about this before. The Eagles fans are the absolute worst. Okay, they're terrible people. They're terrible people that just happen to be Eagles fans. You know, these are the people who like molest children and shit. That's why Jamingo is an Eagles fan. The coach of the Eagles is Nick Sirianni. This fan that you're about to see do what he's about to do to Nick Sirianni, you know, he's got his Eagles jersey. He brought an Eagles helmet with him. He's that fan. This is Sirianni walking off the field. You can see him there.
Nick, you're done, Nick. You're done, Nick. You're
This fan throws the popcorn at him.
done. You're fucking done, Nick.
This guy grabs his helmet. He's got a whole bucket full of fucking popcorn.
You're done, Nick. You're done, Nick. You're done. You're fucking done.
He dumps
Nick.
it on him.
You're done, Nick. You're done, Nick. You're done. You're fucking done, Nick.
You know what? That's amazing because fans get so wound up that they take this upon themselves to be such assholes, forgetting that they're actually human beings that are down there. I could never, ever be that wound up. Okay, now the security guy says, you're not leaving. Get your fucking ass over here. They're pointing him out. There goes security. There's the asshole number 7 going up the steps. I don't know why this guy's wearing a Dolphins jersey. What an asshole.
Hey, you better move fast.
And then they go up and get him. I want to see him curb stomp the guy. Fucking Eagles fans. Ridiculous. Nick says don't wear a visiting team jersey to the link where they play their home games or you're going to have a bad time. That's true. That's true. Nick, the electrician, for some reason is an Eagles fan. We talked about that. Some silly thing. He became an Eagles fan for some dumb reason. You gotta forget that shit. What are you doing? All right. This is the coach of the Bucks, who the Lions are going to play. You're going to love this. It's they're having a little Q&A about playing in Detroit.
Coach, looking forward towards Detroit. The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams. Today, it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we tend to drop to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure, but perform in those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
Okay. The coach, if I were him, I would say, who wants to tell her? Who wants to tell her? But he doesn't do that. He tells her.
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome. I don't. No, nothing planned. We're indoors, and we only have to be outside for 20 seconds, getting off the bus, going under the thing. So we'll be okay.
He's too sweet. I would have said, well, yeah, it's going to be tough. In fact, I just got a weather report that it's going to be 0 degrees on the field for us. And just watch everybody just side-eye her, you know? I mean, she went the extra mile on the question, too. She gave like all this. She gave like the Hot Wings background on it.
Coach, looking forward towards Detroit. The weather has been a factor.
All she had to say is any play. If she does think that it's played outdoors, which she does, you could just say, "What do you? How are you going to make up for the weather there in Detroit?" But she's got to go the long way.
In some of the playoff games,
and it couldn't be more embarrassing.
Even for the most prepared teams, today it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we tend to drop to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure but perform?
He's just letting her go. He's just being very polite and calm.
Those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome.
He drops that and then says, no plans. Oh,
I don't.
Oh, my God.
No,
this
nothing
guy.
planned. We're indoors. And
she didn't say anything after he said, yeah, they got a dome. She's like, oh, God. I would have just immediately resigned. I would have taken my press credential off, handed it to somebody.
we only have to be outside for 20 seconds, getting off the bus, going under the thing. So we'll be okay.
If I were her, I would have said, this is why women can't do this job. That's and that's a woman saying it. She would have stood up. It would have been appropriate for her to say, this is why women should not be involved covering athletics. My God. Jesus. Oh, that is just fantastic. Tyler writes, her butthole probably got so tight when that was revealed to her. Oh. Amanda says, well, in fairness, there's the Bills game. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. You can't say that. If you are there covering sports, you have to know that fact. Holy shit. That's a great question. Why in Buffalo, of all places, of all the places that you should have an indoor facility, why don't they? That makes no sense to me. Now, I don't know the history of the Buffalo Bills. I know that there was a stadium called Rich Stadium. And is that the same thing as the one they have now? I don't know. God damn. And if it isn't, when they built the new one, why didn't they put a roof on it? Corey says, all you need to do was say, does Detroit have a dome? I just did it. It took 2 seconds. Tyler says they're building a new one. Yeah, I don't want to Google it while I talk. I hate doing that. Sometimes I have to, but Patrick says, I like how Coach Bowles talks. I did too. He really took his time with that. Kenny says, I think while she was speaking, he was wondering if she was really asking that or leading up to something else. Boy, you're not kidding. All right. Your old pal, EZ, needs to take a break. I know this is early, but I'll be right back. Tyler adds, they are making a new stadium. It'll be done in 2026, and it's still an outdoor stadium. Why would you do that? I don't get it. Corey says Taylor Swift is going to hate Buffalo. Man, I sure hope that the Bills beat KC. I've had it with KC. All right? Enough. That would be the best way to finish the playoffs if we can get the Bills into the AFC Championship game, and then we don't have to see or hear Taylor Swift anymore. And between now and the start of the next football season, the relationship will likely run its course. Those two. You know, they're still in that lovey-dovey stage. You know? Where you just sit there and stare at each other. You remember that when you first started dating your significant other? You have the lovey-dovey stage where it's just like unbelievable. In fact, today's the 17th. 35 years and 3 days ago, your old pal EZ and the Queen of the Forest were in the lovey-dovey stage. That's right. We went on a date January 14, 35 years ago. What a romantic day. Pooh Bear, it's crazy. I don't know if it was before the movie or after the movie. She somehow closed a dorm door on her hand and broke her little Pooh Bear finger. So the first day we go out, she breaks her finger. Is that supposed to be good luck? You know how, like, if something weird happens to you at a certain time, like they say if a bird shits on you, it's supposed to be good luck? She broke her damn finger. We saw the film called Candyman. The first one. I think it's been remade. Amanda, God damn it. What a question. Where did you go in Mount Pleasant? What are you talking about? Just shut up. She says, oh, I didn't know you were going to keep going. I'll shut up now. That last sentence should be a regular thing. I'll shut up now. Just shut up all the time. I don't recall. I know there was a movie theater. We went there, and that's all I remember. Maybe a little smoochy, you know? That's about it. I don't even know if that was a thing. If we would do smoochy on the first date. Nowadays, the way people are when they date is you meet somebody for the first time, you know them for like 15 minutes, and you have sex. That's like very common these days. Sex on the first date. That's what I read about, at least. Kyle says, wow, and you're still married. You must be a good husband. One of the keys to staying married is not tell the world how good of a husband you are. We all know what happened to our pal Freebeer. He actually wasn't that great of a husband. He was so the opposite of being a good husband that his wife left him. That's how great of a husband he was. He was a horrible husband. That's what happens when you're a shitty husband. Your wife leaves you. God damn it. But just to think, I've been alive for 53, and we've been together for 35. My God. What a time to be alive. And so there I am, 18 years old. She is 22, and man, first year of college, and we've got a buyer to buy alcohol. Oh my God! Hey, can you get? Hey, we're We're playing ColecoVision in our room tonight. It's boys' night out. Could you maybe go get us a case of Busch? She wanders over to the 7-Eleven by H&R across the railroad tracks. Some of you know this. Linda knows this. Linda was in Sweeney, the same hall that the Queen of the Forest was in. Probably, bringing 50, 60-year-old men into the dorm. Pooh Bear brings a case of beer into the dorm. Oh, it was incredible. So good. And here we are, so many years later, growing old together, and everybody's divorced. My God, I've got it made. I am so lucky. Linda, who I didn't know at the time, knew Diana while going to Central. I don't know how they met. I forget. I've been told, but I can't remember that shit. They knew each other. I think they might have had some type of relationship. They may have gotten physical. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying it may have happened. Linda says she didn't like older men then. That was 7 years later. Yeah, whatever. Lies. All lies. All right. Thanks for checking out the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'm going to send you on your way, though. If you want the full show uninterrupted, download the Twitch app, TWITCH, then search Eric Zane Live. Then you get the whole show without interruption. Well, I take it back. There are some interruptions because Amazon throws some commercials into it, video commercials, randomly. They suck. If you want to avoid those, you must subscribe on Twitch. And you can do that for free by linking up your Amazon Prime account. It's all there at Twitch, Eric Zane Live. All the information that you need. You'll figure it out. Just go there. You'll figure it out. Follow me, subscribe, all that shit. Thank you. Or on your desktop, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. The audio podcast is made available after I finish this. You can download it wherever you download shows. In fact, if you subscribe, it'll automatically be sent to you each and every day. I prefer Apple Podcasts. Please throw a review at me. And then, of course, there's Patreon. That is where we will be doing Who Are These Free Beers? Hot Wings Edition coming up on Thursday. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can sign up for 7 days free. It's very, very simple to do. You do have to put in a payment form when you sign up for 7 days free, but you can cancel it right after, and then you still get the 7 days. It's absolutely foolproof. It's a way to get you to try out the Patreon. And even if you're just a casual fan, it's worth it because there's 11 editions of Who Are These Free Beers, which I think is the favorite show on there. I've got Who Are These Free Beers and then Who Are These Zanes. Who Are These Justins died off because that pussy stopped doing a show. And Who Are These Ottawa County Fascists? We just don't do it that much. Stu McAllister joins me on that. There's content every day on Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. But thank you so much in checking the show out if you were on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'm going to send you on your way.